Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So we have a bonus in the MTV Supermodel of the Year series. I'm just going to add in a little bit about my experience on the finale of the show. Now, the show's finale was, of course, I think about a week and a half after we got eliminated from the show. So we actually had to head back home after the elimination and then come back onto set for the finale. So that's what, all the girls who had been eliminated, most of them had gone home and then had to come back as well. Especially some of us that lived in Bombay, we went home and we came back. So now this is the finale episode. We are meeting all the girls again. We didn't at the time know who had made it to the top 3, what was happening. So we went back. We were really excited to see all the girls again, like all 10 of us got reunited for the finale, and it was a lot of fun. I think the finale was the most fun that I had on this entire show because there was no stress anymore, right? All the stressful tasks, all the competition, all of that was gone. It was just, okay, you've already been eliminated. Now you're here just to kind of give moral support to the top 3 girls and just be there, kind of finish off the show well and complete it. So we made it to the finale. We were given outfits. Obviously, since it was the finale, the outfits were fantastic. I think the dress that I wore for the finale was my favorite dress on the entire show. It was so well designed, and I think it fit my body type so well that I was like, these are the kind of clothes I should have worn throughout the show. And I think this is another point where, having a good stylist is so important, because when a person is styling you, they need to understand your body type. And then based on that, the clothes or the attire should be assigned to you. And I also felt that in the beginning parts of the show, because I felt like they didn't understand my body type or what would look good on a body like mine, they were just like, oh yeah, okay, that's the last outfit left, so why don't you take that? And there was definitely a sense of priority or favoritism to certain body types versus certain other body types, which I definitely felt. And so when I got the dress for the finale, I was like, yeah, see, this fits my body type well. These are the kind of clothes that would have worked really good for me throughout the show. But anyway, it is what it is, and I was really happy about the finale dress. And now here's the thing, right? So it was just one day, the last shoot. We went into the green room and we were getting ready. It was the lounge where we were getting ready, and I heard, okay, so this is very dramatic. We did not know who the guest would be for the finale, but I think I heard one of the songs by Rajakumari, okay? And I was like, why is that song playing? Because I've heard the song so many times. Like, I think Meera played a little bit, the background track of it. And I was just so surprised. I was like, is she coming here? Is that why these songs are playing? And I was really confused because they hadn't told us yet. Then by the time we had to actually do a rehearsal, right? So we have to rehearse the walk. They need to choreograph it for us. So in the finale, all of us did a ramp walk and came back. So the mentors over there showed us how we need to walk and then how we need to go back. And then for that rehearsal, we also had Rajakumari, who actually came there. So for me, that was like, oh my God, because I really used to enjoy rapping that time. I was such a fan of her work and I had followed her albums pretty closely. So when she actually came on set, I was like, this is like a dream come true. I'm so happy to see her. And I got to interact with her and talk to her. So it was a really nice experience. And like I'm saying, honestly, the finale was the best experience on the whole show because everything was great. Outfit was on point. I got to meet Rajakumari and it was just such a vibe. I wish the whole show had been like that. But anyway, so we met her, we rehearsed with her. There are a couple of pictures from there where we were rehearsing with her and we had some time to talk to her. And then after that, of course, we had to go in for the actual shoot. So we all walked the finale. I think at this point, right, I didn't have any more inhibitions because I was not scared. I was just like, whatever. And the music was amazing. And this was my vibe, right? Like, I was like, this is my thing. I'm gonna I'm going to do it. And so when I had to do the ramp walk this time in the finale, I was just having a blast. And I also danced, right? So I did a few dance moves. Me and Yukti did a body roll as we were exiting the stage. And it was a lot of, like, we just had a blast on stage. And I think the judges could see that. So when I finished my walk and I went to stand near the staircase, the judges asked me, they're like, what happened to you? Like, in 1 week, you did so well. Like, you were one of the best models and walkers on stage. And, why didn't we get to see that during the show? And I was like, I don't know. I think I have been performing similarly. Maybe it wasn't noticed as much, or maybe it's just that there's less stress now. So because it's not stressful, and because nobody's telling us a lot of, giving us comments, criticism, and telling us things, my natural ability to shine was just on display, So I remember them saying that this is who you are, like, your friend, this is amazing, like, this attitude that you have and the way you walked on stage. So it was really nice, again, to hear that from them. Although I was like, I wish I had been given this encouragement during the actual show instead of just right now. But it is what it is. And I was at least grateful that they could recognize that, even if it was a bit late. But I was like, okay, fine. And so yeah, that's kind of how it panned out. I had an amazing experience. After we finished the walk, all of us sat on the chairs, and the 3 girls who were in the top 3, which is Manila, Priya, and Drisha, they did their final walks, right? Because all of this was now being scored. So their final walks were being scored and judged, and we were just cheering them on. And then finally, the judges were giving out scores for their walk, as well as for a photo shoot that they had done, where they stood on top of a car with a trophy, etc. I'm sure you've seen the finale episode, so you know what I'm talking about. And they got scored for all of those, different tasks. And eventually, of course, Manila was the winner. She got the highest points in both the tasks, and she was announced as MTV's Supermodel of the Year, which was so amazing to see. And Manila had been my roommate as well. So Anjali, Manila, me, and Yukti were in the same room. It was a pretty big room. So we all were really tight while shooting in that room. So it was really nice to see that Manila had made it this far and actually won the show. So it was incredible to watch. And of course, Drisha and Priya were pretty amazing as well. Drisha always felt like an older sister to me. She was also Maharashtrian, and she, just had that motherly vibe. Every time I would cry, she would always sort of be there and support me and just be protective. So it was really sweet of her. And Priya was my first roommate when we initially got to the hotel before going to the studio. So again, she and I really appreciate her, and I think she did a fantastic job as well. So this then came to the end of the show. All the judges came and spoke to us. They shook our hands. They said thank you. We called it a wrap on the entire show. That was literally the last day. And I think it was also really emotional. I think even though I didn't have the best experience on the show, I did become quite close to a lot of the girls there. We had lived together for 2 to 3 weeks. We had become very used to each other. And I think so the most emotional part was leaving the girls, because all 10 of us had become, everybody had formed their own friendships, of course. And I was really close to Anjali at the time, where she and I were always vibing. We always had our own inside jokes, and me and her are really similar as people as well. So we really got on, and she was like my best friend on the show, and even otherwise. Like, she is such an incredible and amazing person, such a great work ethic. So both Anjali as well as Anushka were really close to me, and I'm still of course in touch with them. And I was really sad also that Anushka would be leaving and I wouldn't get to see her. But of course now she's in Bombay, so I get to see her more often. But it was just such a great experience, and I felt a little nostalgic saying bye to them. But then finally, of course, we had to call it a day and head back home. And that then, after we went home from the finale, was the last time that we were all on that set together. So that really brought us to the end of the show fully. And once the show got over, it was, I think, within a week, right? The show ended, and within a week, the first episode had been telecast on TV. So it was so quick for us. It was so fast. And I promise you, I think the women and the girls who did well on the show, it's like a dream, right? You get on the show, you shoot for 3 weeks, and 1 week later, your entire life changes because everybody knows who you are and everybody's praising you because you actually did well on the show. So I guess for me, it was a slightly different experience because I did not do well on the show. So yes, it was like a dream come true to be on the show and for it to get telecast so quickly and people start recognizing you. You're on the streets, people want to take pictures with you. There's a lot of fame that comes with it. But I think I also experienced the slightly negative side of fame because I didn't do well on the show. So I got a lot of hate comments, got a lot of negativity as well. As much as, of course, there was positivity and love, but there was also some amount of hate and criticism. So I had to really find a balance, that balancing act between everything and figure out how to navigate this sudden fame that has come my way, which is not a very positive experience, but is mixed, is in its emotions and feelings. So I really had to figure out how to navigate that space and how to get used to being recognized in public places. So that was, when the episode got telecast, the first one. And after that, so the first episode got telecast in December 2019. I still remember it was 22nd December 2019. And then every weekend, the new episodes would get telecast. And so for me, it was such a stressful time because I was like, oh my God, what are they going to show in this episode? How are they going to edit it? What are they going to say? And to be very honest, I felt very helpless and out of control because those 3 months, so from 22nd December to 15th March, right? 22nd December 19 to 15th March 2020, the whole time the show was on air and new episodes were being released each week. And for me, I was just genuinely, I would wait for the weekend and I would be a little stressed out because for the first time, I didn't have control over my narrative, over my story, over how it's going to be edited, over how they're going to portray me. So I was really a bit, nervous and also a little scared every time the episodes would come out. And of course, not only would the episodes come out, there would also be a reaction to all the episodes and you would get flooded with certain comments and certain people who don't know you saying things about you that are just really, it's ridiculous sometimes. So to start dealing with all of that was quite overwhelming. I think what kept me sane in those 3 months that the show was telecast was that at the same time in January 2020, I had to go back to London for my graduation from my master's. So my dad and I went to London and I graduated and, I finished my master's and all of that got done. So that was, I think, the only sort of saving grace that kept me sane is that I could go back to London and meet all my friends and get the graduation degree. So I had just 1 month ago, I had failed on a TV show. And a month later, I was getting my award for my dissertation and my research projects and being applauded in London. So I was like, I'm living such a double life. What is going on? So I always have taken my education and academics very seriously. And I think, thank God for that, thank God for that, because that really kept me afloat, sane, and completely normal in some ways throughout this experience. And then after that got over, I started getting a lot of offers for advertisements. There were offers to model in different shoots. There were offers to collaborate with certain people, brands. But I was being very picky after my experience on MTV that I didn't want to work with people that I didn't vibe with. So I started to shut myself off a little bit, which I'm still in the process of coming back out, I would say, because it was such a traumatizing experience. But I started to shut myself off and I started to pick my projects very, very carefully. So the next project that I said yes to was working with cult.fit, which is India's biggest fitness and health and wellness organization in Bangalore. So I agreed to become their head of yoga digital content. So that was like they were hiring in that department for the first time. I was the first person to be hired in that space. It was really exciting. I had an amazing interview process with the team. I'd flown to Bangalore in the middle just to meet everyone. I had 6 interviews in a day, got selected, got full marks and all of that. And then a month later, okay, let me give you the timeline. In Jan 2020, I had graduation, and at the end of Jan, I also went to Bangalore to do my interview with Cult, got selected, got the offer letter. Then I spent Feb just getting everything sorted, like getting my mind right. And then in March, I moved to Bangalore to work with Cult. So it was a very quick 6-7 months. Everything happened very, very quickly. I had to process a lot of things really fast. And when I moved to Cult, MTV Supermodel was still on air. It ended on 15th March. So I had already moved to Bangalore while these episodes were still playing out. And then once I was in Bangalore, it was great, but then the lockdown started in 2020. So I was with Cult for about 6 or 7 months, and I was basically shooting all day for the yoga content and doing analytics and a lot of research around what we should create, etc. So that's what I did after Supermodel of the Year. And after that, once I left Cult in August or September 2020, I came back home. I moved to Pune we have another house here, so I'm currently in Pune. I moved there and just built the business of my dreams, which is Yogi Gurukul, and I'm focusing more and more on that. Yoga philosophy, all things yoga, spirituality, and well-being. So that's currently what I'm doing, but it took so much up, down, so much time to like figure it out and like come to a consensus, come to a conclusion. So now, of course, I'm in a much healthier place. I'm so joyful. I have so much love and appreciation for my journey so far, and I really, really feel good about where I am in my life now, and I feel ready to take on bigger and better experiences from here. So that's how everything panned out. Perhaps in a future video, I will talk about my experience at Cult as well and share how I got in, how everything worked, and how the whole experience was. So thank you so much for staying tuned so far, and really appreciate your support. As always, if you have to reach out, please go follow at Anvita Dixit Yoga. My other account is now private. I just keep it for friends and family. So please feel free to follow on my yoga page and we can connect there. I look forward to seeing you in a future video. Until then, take care and peace out. I'm going to see you soon.